Welcome back to another Front Office Rocks YouTube video. And in this video, I want to talk about receptionists, people answering your phones. Maybe not receptionists, but before I'll let a new employee answer my phones in the dental office, what do they need to be confident with? What do they need to be competent with? I'm a huge advocate of not letting somebody brand new or somebody not trained answer your phones in your dental office, because your phones are the lifeline to the outside, and you want to make sure somebody's fully trained before they answer your phones. My hashtag is hashtag respect the phones. So write that in the comments, hashtag respect the phones. That phone in our dental office is the most important piece of technology that we own, because if we're not good at answering the phones, we're not good at converting patients, we're not going to do a lot of dentistry. So there are some basic things that I require somebody be confident in and competent in before they answer the phone. And I just thought I'd review them because I've had some clients say, okay, when do I know somebody's ready? First of all, I would have them do phone training with Front Office Rocks. We have advanced phone training. We have basic phone training. We help train new employees on all of the important whys behind answering the phone. So I would definitely reach out and have some sort of a training program so that your new employees can get trained consistently the same way every time. Here are kind of the basic things that I would make sure somebody fully understands before they answer the phone. First of all, the phones, right? We want to make sure that they understand the technical part about the phones, right? How to answer them, how to put them on hold, how to transfer calls, all of that, right? How they're supposed to handle the phones, like do we put people on hold or do we take a message? Do we transfer the calls? Do we handle them ourselves? How do we handle the phones? And then how are we supposed to handle the questions that come in on the phones? Most of the time there's very similar questions that come in. Are you in network? Do you take my insurance? Do you have weekend hours? When's your next new patient appointment? How do you handle emergencies? So the person answering the phones needs to know your policies, your philosophies on how to handle those questions. And again, they need to be trained on how to handle those questions so that they're saying it from their verbiage, from their heart, not necessarily following a script, okay? So that's the first step with the phones. Now, and also it's respecting the phone, okay? Hashtag respect the phone. That phone needs to be answered, and the first 2 to 3 rings. We need to focus on the person on the phone. That's all the stuff we learn in training. So that's the first part. Secondly, they need to know how to handle the questions, meaning more than just what the questions are, but how are they going to respond to the questions like, do you take my insurance? How much is a crown? Do you have weekend hours? How much is an emergency appointment? They have to get confident in answering all of those questions. They have to get confident internally. They have to know what your office policies are. So there's kind of a duo thing. They need to know what it is that you guys offer, how you handle these questions, what insurances you take, how you want those questions answered. And then they need to say it from their heart. So they need to be confident in the questions that they answer. The third thing is they need to know your procedures that you do. They need to know the insurances that you take. They need to know the policies of your office, so that they're confident in answering the questions. So a receptionist needs to know basic dental terminology. They need to understand insurance, a new employee. They need to understand in and out of network. They need to understand HMOs versus PPOs. They need to know what procedures you do in the practice, and then also what they're supposed to do with the other procedures that you don't do in the practice. Let's say you don't do endo, then how do you want them to handle that question? My opinion is still get the patient in, right? We'll take care of the patient, we'll get them referred, we'll be the office for them. But how do you want them to handle those questions? And they really need to understand what those questions mean, okay? And then lastly, when they start answering the phones, they need to know, what are they responsible for? Are they fully responsible for the phones? Are they backup for the phones? Are they the ones who are handling all the new patient calls? What are their job requirements? What's their description around the phones so that they are confidently answering the phones? They're not hesitant, because we want this person to portray confidence to anybody calling in. And then finally, the person needs to be tested. We need to listen to them. We need to monitor how they're doing on the phones. How are they doing converting patients? How do they sound on the phones? Maybe, have somebody training them, listening to them, or have somebody doing mystery calls, or some way to make sure, because if you just put them on the phones and you walk away, you're not guaranteeing that they fully are good and understand everything that they've been taught. So we want to make sure that we're continually training them. And as issues come up, because new things will come up, that they know how to address them in the future, or have somebody they can go to continually improve when it comes to answering phones. So those are my basics of what somebody should be comfortable with and know before they answer the phones. And this may not only be a new patient. Maybe you're cross-training a dental assistant, or you have a hygienist helping. Make sure that they're just as confident and trained when answering phones, because just because they're really good clinically doesn't mean they're super good on the phones. And we want to make sure we make everybody amazing on the phones, because at the end of the day, that's our lifeline to the outside, and we need to respect that phone. So thank you again for joining me. Please make sure you write comments below if there's something else that you think that somebody should know before they start answering phones in your dental office. I would love to hear it. Share this with everybody you know in dental, because we would love to get a big old group here on YouTube talking about things that are important to implement in the practice every day. And again, thank you guys, and have an amazing day.